The program is about support and structure and strategies. I would say that's what the program is about. On a very direct level, we deal with students that have learning differences that impact them. They're not, I mean, everyone would have a preference the way they learn, but these students are impacted significantly by the way that they take in information, the way they access information, the way they retrieve it, and the way that they express it. Many of the students, if not all, have come to us with some form of testing. So obviously we are going to look that over. But what we do after we get the testing is we assist the student so that they may be more successful in an academic arena.
My first years of high school were pretty rough for me academically. So when I applied here, my admissions officer suggested that I be put in the program just so that there wouldn't be any kind of kinks or problems when I first came to the school. Study skills. One big reason is the plan book. I never used it before I came here. Also,
and now you love it.
Yeah, it helps. It helps a lot. Now I'm not rushing around during study hall trying to find my homework. Another thing is time management skills. In my plan book, they teach me how to when to study, when I go see my teachers for extra help, all this other stuff. It's just a lot of hands-on lessons.
Well, the plan book's a great vehicle for organization. It has a lot of different uses, and it falls into the category of executive functioning, organizational skills, and helping RJ and other students sort of exercise some control over what's going on and feel like they're in control, feel like they're organized, feel like they have a sense of what's happening, what's coming up, and how to break down assignments so that they're manageable and they're not as stressful or as overwhelming, or they don't get forgotten along the way, which is of course important. RJ works to sort of record when assignments are given. We lay out what we need to be doing each night. We'll do some predictions about how long it might take so that we can put aside enough time between the study hall and during the academic day to get the work done. We also work on a skill called chunking, which is breaking larger assignments down to smaller manageable pieces so that they're not overwhelming and they can be met and small successes built and allow the student to feel successful in the whole project.
As part of Roxbury, we're here to support you, but we're not here to do for you. And what we want, like the ultimate goal is to get kids to be independent learners and to be proactive so that eventually they won't need me to go to the teacher and say, we're not quite sure what it is your project is asking us to do here, but to have the student go back and say, could you clarify this for me? Because when they go off to college, there isn't going to be somebody like me standing there holding their hand, walking them to the classroom saying, could you help us?
The fact is, the academic arena is going to be very challenging for many of the students that we work with. That would not be to say that these are students that are cognitively not able to do the work. We need a student that's cognitively able to complete the work. Got to have the horsepower to get up the hill. Having said that, what we do is we take those students and try to assist them with strategies so that they can be more successful.
She has difficulty with the math, and so we do a lot of one-on-one with the math, and if she gets stuck, one of the advantages to working in Roxbury one-on-one, if she doesn't get it the first time, we can do it again. If she doesn't get it the second time, we can do it again. Where in a regular classroom, you know, teacher may go back and redo something 1 or 2 times, but not 3 or 4 times. And then we can even go back to it the second day and a third day. All right, we did this on Monday now. Do you remember how we did that? And then build on it from there. So that's one of the advantages with the math. Sometimes Raven has difficulty reading things, and so often I read to her to make sure she understands the questions, because her verbal skills and listening skills are very strong. But getting it, once she gets it up in her head, then she does beautifully, and she does very well on things like poetry and so on, once she understands what the questions are asking her and whatnot.
I think I would succeed, but I succeed at a higher level because of what Roxbury's taught me.
She's done very well. I think she's on first honors again.
And
the first benefit is generally seen just in an increased level of confidence. Students who have been told repeatedly at other schools that they are less than They are the odd person out. They, something about them is not right. Come here and get the message that they are a student, they have an opportunity to succeed, they have an adult who is personally and regularly interested in their success in their Roxbury tutor, and they have a classroom situation that they can manage and that they can do well in. And through the fall, you can really see students beginning to click in and go, wait a minute, this school thing that's been either terrifying or torturous maybe isn't so bad. And that happens with different students, clearly at different rates. But it's neat to see a student begin to feel that they can succeed, and they just take off from there.
We're in constant communication with the faculty, informally and formally. We're in communication with the students' parents or guardians, if you will, on a weekly basis, giving them in real time a report on the student and how that week went. We also follow up. So if I was to assign a student to go for extra help, I'm going to call and see if they went. So there is that communication loop that goes around. How are they doing in the dorm? What's happening on the field in terms of coaching? Are they doing their homework? What's going on in the classroom? Are they in the dining hall having lunch with people? So it is a total picture, so to speak. I think one of the strongest points of the Roxbury Academic Support Program, and one that I particularly insist upon as the director, is the communication and the relationship, because the relationship between the student and their Roxbury instructor is tantamount. What we know about emotional intelligence is that people will respond to relationships and situations when they are emotionally comfortable. We work at that, no doubt about that.
Like parent, kind of like another mother, father figure that's there just, like to talk to if you need to talk, and just be like, I'm really nervous for this test, but like I don't know what to do and it's really stressing me out. Like, okay, well, close the door, we'll talk about it, and then we'll study a little more for it. But it was last Tuesday when I was really nervous for my zoology exam, and I did it, and I finished, and my teacher was like, do you want me to grade it right now? And I was like, oh yeah, that'd be great. Like on one side it's like, yeah, grade it now, and then the other side it's like, oh, I don't want to know. So she graded it, and then I got home and I was like, Mom, do you have Miss Smith's number? And she was like, yeah, sure. So I called her and I was like, Miss Smith, I did really well. And she was like, oh my God, that's such a relief, so great to hear. So I called her just like out of left field and just said like, Miss Smith, I did really well, like thank you so much. She's like, okay, see you tomorrow.
She called me at night and it just made my whole evening. That's fun.
I wouldn't say guides. I would say more like parents. Seriously, like.
I think that's a good thing.
All the teachers are on campus, so it's not just like during school that they're on you and that they're like, all right, you got to do this, this, and this. It's after school. It's before practice. It's after practice. I mean, they're here and they affect all aspects of your life. I mean, like I normally during study hall, Mr. Chico walks in my room and says, hey, you need to get this done, do this, get off of Facebook, that kind of thing. Like, like they come and they make sure that you do a very good job.
For our students or boarders, it does allow us to close the loop a little bit and have connections outside of the academic day, which some nights we take advantage of. But I think that's a positive ultimately, being able to connect outside of the classroom.
The other thing I should also mention is to exit Roxbury really doesn't have to do with grades. The benchmark that I use in recommending a student can exit Roxbury, of course they can exit at any time. There's no shackles. But the benchmark that I use is that they can self-advocate, and that in terms of the executive functioning skills, that the preponderance are going well. They can get most of the things to most of the people in a timely fashion. And neither of those have anything to do with grades. I would be remiss if I didn't say that we do see an increase in academics and the grades when the kids are in Roxbury. And I think a lot of the structure and the support, indicates that it's working. And they do better. They feel better. But it is not the only benchmark that we use. We certainly are looking for that. But I would not say that a student should enroll in Roxbury just to get better grades.
Like coming out of middle school, I always had the idea of me just going to community college. But being in this program and being with people that tell me I can do really well and them helping me to achieve my goals. I feel like my mom is like really like excited about me going to university. She was pushing for Ivy, but I mean I definitely try my hardest.
I mean, certainly our goal in the program is to develop lifelong learners who are independent in their ability to manage the skills and the challenges that will come after Cheshire Academy. So the skills that we're working with RJ on aren't limited to what he does here. You know, the organizational support, hopefully he'll be able to do that on his own very soon and be able to take that with him to wherever he goes for college. Be able to find strategies. If it's not a plan book, then it's an electronic organizer, whatever he would use in the adult world. The idea of breaking assignments down is applicable in the real world as it is in the high school environment. So I think that there's a lot of transference of skills from what we do here to college and beyond.